reception, bore da. This video I'm posting today is just to help you with some of the numeracy activities I've put on your learning log. The new activities are on the class page on the school website, but I thought I'd help you because we've been, in the last sort of 2 weeks, we've been looking at number and how we write the number words. You know how to write the number, and then we're practicing the number words. And this week we're still working within 20, but we want to look at how I want to introduce the words greater than, lesser than, most, and they're all linked to sort of the words bigger and smaller. So the activities I've put on the class, on your learning log and on the class page, there's lots of different ones. You don't have to do them all. You can choose the ones you want, but it's about understanding number, not just being able to count, not being able just to recognize, but just to understand which number are bigger, which numbers are smaller, how we order those numbers. And I'm going to introduce some new symbols today, and I'll post some work linked to that later on. So I've got, just move my screen a little bit now. So I've got some numbers here. We're going to look at the first row. Can you see? Let's move that. There we go. We're going to look at the first row first. So we've got these numbers, and I've got this number school. Well, it's like a rectangle, but eventually, can you see it? There we go. Eventually, as you go through the school, it becomes a big square, but we're only going to look at numbers to 20. So I've got a row of numbers here, and what we're looking at and linked to your activity that I've put on your learning log is which number is the biggest or the greatest. It means exactly the same thing. Which number is the smallest or the least. Those words, just a different way of saying smaller and bigger. So if we look at these numbers, we've got 5, 2, and remember our teen number. Do you remember? Put my teen in there for now. It's a 10 and units, so it's 1, 10 and 3 more, which is 13. So this is there to help you. If I asked you the question, which number is the least, which number is the smallest, make sure my battery doesn't run out, which number is the smallest, you may be able to tell straight away. You may be able to say, oh, I know. But if you're not sure, you use your number line. Which number do you come to first? So if you start, we do start at 0, but on a number square they're often 1. 1, what number comes next? 2. So that's the first number I come to, so it must be the smallest in this group. So this is the least. Then, which is the biggest? So what we'll do is we'll go back to our number line and we'll count until we get to that number. So let's have a look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5. But hang on, we haven't got to this number 13 yet. Let's find out. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And when you get to this end of the row, you go back to the beginning of the next row. 11, 12, 13. So that's my last number in the row. So that must be the biggest number or the greatest. So if you were putting them in order, if we what we call ordering the numbers, let me rub these ones out first so you don't get confused. If we were ordering the numbers, the least, the smallest number is 2. Then the next number 2, the next number on my number line is 5. Down, big fat belly, hat on the top, and then my biggest or my greatest number is 13. And you also know that's the biggest number because you know all about tens and units. So if it's got 10 and 3 more, it has to be bigger than just 2 and 5 because we've already got a 10. So that's one of your activities this week. You've got lots to do on White Rose Maths to circle the bigger, the least and the greatest numbers and ordering them. Now another activity I wanted to show you. I'm going to just turn my board around. I wanted to introduce these little characters. Can you see? If I bring them closer, be careful. This is one. The crocodile, and it says is greater than. Pop that one back there. And then we got this crocodile, and it says is less than. And then we got this little one. Got two parts to this little one. And you all know this one. Is equal to. We know the equal sign, don't we? We've worked on that one a lot. So I want you to look at these now, because these signs are always used when we use the words greater than and less than, or when we're ordering numbers and when we're trying to work out which numbers are bigger and which numbers are smaller. So you won't see them always in your book like a crocodile. You might see them just written like this, or like this. Oops. You see? Like that. But in reception, we always use the little eyes. So we're looking at numbers. If I had two numbers, so if I had 11, so if we write these down now, let me move these ones for a minute. If I had 11 and 8. 11 and 8. If I was looking at which is the biggest, you can obviously go back and use your number line. Do you remember? You can use these. Let's pop these down the bottom. Let's pop these here again. Oops. There we go. There's your number line. So, oh, it's a bit tricky. Let me put it on the top. There we go. That's easier, isn't it? There we go. So you can count. So which one do you come to first is the smallest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I come to 8 first. So that must be the smallest number between 8 and 11. Because if I count on, I come to 11 last. 8, 9, 10, 11. So that means 11 is bigger. So if I was writing these numbers in, and I'm using is, I'll move this one out the way for a minute. Pop that down there. If I was using is greater than, I would write 11. It's moving, isn't it? There we go. I would write 11, checking my time, is greater than 8. Put them up. That's all it means is, oops, you can't see it, can you? There we go. All it means is 11 is bigger than 8. That's all. It greater than just means bigger, is bigger than 8. But if I wanted to use my less than, can you see? And I'll show you a little clue now. Let's move this one in. Can you see the big part goes next to the big number? The big crocodile eats the biggest number. So 11 is greater than 8. And if we were saying 8 is less than, is smaller than, so 8 is small. He goes to the smallest part of the crocodile. It doesn't go to the big mouth because he only eats the biggest number. 8 is less than 11 because the crocodile is eating the biggest number. Can you see his mouth is much wider and bigger next to the big number? Now my time's going to run out. So, oh, and equals to just means exactly the same. So if I was writing this, I could say, if I was looking at the number 4, I could say that 3 and 1 is the same. Oh, my board's terrible today, isn't it? 3 and 1 is equal to 2 plus 2. It's exactly the same. Is equal to. So 3 and 1 more makes 4, and 2 and 2 also makes 4, so it's equals to. My time's going to run out now. I'll post some more work later. Hoi wow!